Hello, I'm Malcolm.
And I'm Janice. What has the mushroom gnocchi to do with interior design?
And what's happening in the makeup industry for makeup artists, especially if they came from the Philippines? We'll answer that and more next.
On Our Time.
Oh, I wish I'd have said that. Welcome, welcome. It's lovely to have you back for the second week after being away for so many.
It wasn't that long. I couldn't help being
It just
sick.
felt that long.
Oh, Malcolm, you're very kind.
And the fact that I have my voice back now.
Yes, after all that time.
Exactly, after all that time.
But we have
a very special guest.
Talking about interior design.
Absolutely. It's Susan Bilardo. Susan, welcome to Our Time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, Susan, how did you get into interior design? Because every Tom, Dick and Harry on earth at the moment is either painting their house or redoing some old furniture.
Yes.
I think it's not just at the moment, it's always been happening, but we seem to be...
on telly all the time.
Yes, it is nowadays.
Yes.
So how did you?
Oh, gosh, it was a long, long time ago. I actually got the bug when I was possibly in year 9 at school.
Right.
And with my family, we went back to Europe for a holiday and we were there for 3 months, and that's when I decided, right, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something to do with architecture, interior architecture, jewellery design, furniture design, and then that bug continued during my high school years, and then I found a wonderful course at the University of South Australia, which back then was called Human Environments, which gave you a little bit of everything. So there was interior design, but you got a little taste of all these other sort of design disciplines because we were all in together, because it was based on the Bauhaus School of Design. And so, yeah, it's been almost, I think, 26 years that I've had my own business.
Right.
So back in the day when almost not that many people really knew what an interior designer was, and now everyone sort of seems to want to be an interior designer. So
or to use an interior designer.
If you're an interior designer.
Certainly renovating a house, it's always good to get an opinion from somebody like
Do you think
like
the TV
yourself.
shows have made that more popular? Or people more aware?
I'm not sure. I think as a society and as a group of people, Australians travel a lot because we are so far away from the rest of the world. And so we're a well-travelled, savvy community, and I think they bring back a lot of the things that they see from overseas and they want part of that. I think a lot of the television shows, if anything, have possibly hurt our industry rather than enhanced it.
Why do you think it's because people see those programs and think, oh, well, I can do that myself?
It's not so much about them being able to do it themselves. I think everyone can choose their own colours and furniture and that sort of thing. I suppose that's not really the bulk of what we do. We're spatial planners. We're more so interior architects as opposed to just straight, you know, interior designers or decorators.
Pink and
that's exactly right.
and
That's
nice
definitely
pale blue with it.
Part of it, but a very small part of it. Where our skill is to make things extremely functional and to solve people's problems.
So do you work with the builders then? Like
Absolutely.
You do. You work
That's
with
right.
those?
Yeah, and we work with architects and builders and engineers. We're very much part of the construction industry.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes those programs water down what we do, and I think most of them are actually reality TV shows, and they don't
they're really set up as well.
No. So they don't really show actually everything that happens behind the scenes, and really to have a house built in a matter of days or weeks is impossible.
Yeah.
If you want quality and something that will stand the test of time and something that's unique, then I don't think you're really going to get that in that short amount of time. So
it's a really interesting comment because that's very much in our industry with performers. You know, it all seems like it happens overnight, but in actual fact it doesn't.
It doesn't. No, absolutely.
We had Lee Warren on last week talking about dancers and just how long dancers have to train. It's really the same with everything.
Absolutely.
If you want to be at the top of your craft, you really need to know how it all comes together. You can't make it up.
No, absolutely. And you have to work hard, and it takes years of learning on the job as well as, educating.
Is that from mistakes that you might make with design that you have to fix, or...?
Yeah, I think I've always found that we've learnt a lot from the people around us. So whether that's highly skilled craftsmen and tradesmen that we work with, we've got great craftspeople and tradesmen in South Australia. We're very fortunate for that. And so we are always pushing the boundaries and wanting to do things and make furniture or line a building or an interior in a particular way.
When you say line the building, do you mean...
Well, line walls that wrap into ceilings,
right,
or, doing unusual things, and or even possibly having a, kitchen table or a bench top which is cantilevered so it has a concealed support rather than 4 legs. You need a team of people to be able to help
how to do that.
That's exactly right.
Work how to make it happen.
That's right.
Well, you've just gone through rebuilding.
Yes, we did.
Right.
Yes.
How was that process for you?
Took forever, didn't it?
It did. But then my husband is pretty fussy about it. He's just on there watching everything,
yes.
which is fair enough when you want it.
I understand that.
Exactly right.
Absolutely.
But it's a huge thing to go through.
It's a big undertaking and it's a big investment, so you want to get it right.
Absolutely.
And that's why we...
It's probably the biggest investment in most people's lives,
Absolutely.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So a client would come to you and say, I'm building a house. At what point do you get involved?
Well, we like to get involved really at the front end. So...
What, the front door? I want a red front door, please, with a doorknob down.
So you'd sit with the architect?
Absolutely, yeah. Often I think because we have been around for quite some time, a lot of clients based on word of mouth often come to us first, and then we introduce them to a lot of architects as well and a lot of great builders that we work with on a regular basis. And then we get together the right sort of project team. But we're also very fortunate. There's a lot of architects that refer us to their clients. Yeah. And then there's a lot of great builders that also refer us. But we think you get the best result if you're working as a team with the client at the front end, because it's about the client. It's not about, I'm not going to live in that house, and neither's that builder or that architect.
Are there some designers that get a bit sort of antsy about all that, though? It's like, why don't you want my wonderful idea?
I think...
How do you get around that?
You do... I'm sure that exists, but I think at the end of the day, what we try to say to our team, that's why we don't have our name on the door. We don't have my name or my husband's name as a business name. We're called enoki, which is... It's a Japanese mushroom, and we love all things Japanese design in particular. But I think it's important that... I've lost my train of thought.
The design, the Japanese... I was just going to say to you, though, so do you then think about the feng shui when you're working in that way?
Yes.
Is that important to you?
Some clients are very particular about their feng shui, especially more in commercial settings because they're money centre and that sort of thing. Yeah. And then there are others that really don't.
So can we open a window there and a door there?
That's right, and they don't really mind. But I think it's important that, especially for a house, it's not my house. Yeah. It's the client's house. So it's got to reflect them.
So that's good advice to anybody who's looking to engage people like yourself. And there are a lot of people like yourself around. So it's a matter of finding somebody that
you resonate with.
Yeah, well, interpret your ideas.
That's
resonate
right.
with. That's a good way to put it as well.
Yes, absolutely.
What do you think is the best thing you've ever worked on?
Oh, goodness.
Everything would be the right answer.
I think our philosophy is very much, let's try to make every project better than the last. And every project, no matter how big or small, is very important and is fabulous. So,
is there a trend at the moment? What's trending? Because there's usually a trend of some description.
There are trends. I mean, people are very much into a very light palette.
Yes.
So people are moving away from the darker tones into that lighter tone and using a lot more colour.
I love colour in every room in my house is a very bright colour.
Well, that's great. It reflects your personality.
Well,
Yes.
no, but it's to me, it makes me feel like I'm going somewhere when I walk from room to room.
That's right.
Whereas if everything is the same colour, the same palette, white, or off-white, which seems to be extremely popular,
yes.
I don't feel I've gone anywhere.
No, well, that's right. I think
that's my taste.
No, I think a lot of people, when they're designing their homes, if we're talking about homes rather than offices or
well, it could be anything really.
Restaurants.
Right.
Restaurants tend to take a look and really embrace it, like a current theme and current look, because they really sort of redress themselves every 5 to 10 years, and they have to. I think in people's homes, people try to be very safe, and so they do 10 shades of white, but actually I say to them that's probably the worst thing you could do, because you're not that sort of personality. It's probably better to inject.
Or an operating theatre.
That's right, exactly. It's not very exciting, but they see things sometimes in magazines, they get very highly influenced, whereas we try to extrapolate more of their personality and what's going to suit their family or themselves as an individual, as opposed to what's trending or what you see in a lot of places. So.
Well, Susan, it's been lovely talking with you. It's just to get that little bit of insight from your side rather than what we are seeing on daily television about rushing in and hanging things on the wall and painting colours or not.
Yes.
Come back at the end of the show. There's some more we'd like to ask you.
Beautiful.
And we'll be back in a moment to find out what's happening in makeup.
Makeup?
Yeah, I don't wear it. I don't use it.
No.
Nothing.
I don't either.
Purely. No, I noticed.
No.
We have a very special guest who started his life in the Philippines and is a makeup artist, and it's Jerick Morale.
Yes.
Welcome, Jerick.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure. Yeah. You've got a great backstory.
Oh, thank you.
Just tell us your life as a young child living in the Philippines. What was it like?
Oh, it's beautiful. The Philippines is very rich in culture. We have lots of we love dancing and singing. So it's part of I was a dancer back in high school, and then I started doing choreography. I was a choreographer, and then I started training women for beauty pageants. And
that's a big thing in the Philippines, the beauty pageants.
Yes. So in the Philippines, we have the 3 big Bs. We have basketball, we have boxing, and beauty pageants.
And the girls are really good with the boxing, I would imagine.
We have Manny Pacquiao, who's the big boxing guy.
How much has the Spanish influence affected the country?
It is huge because we were colonized by Spain for, I think, 400 years.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. So we have really the Spanish culture, even up to now. And I think in Southeast Asia, the Philippines is the only Catholic country. So we have the big Catholic churches and all that. Even the traditions. Even in my city, we have the big Marian tradition, and the big Marian festival is what I mean. And I think it's one of the biggest Marian devotion.
Right.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, so Spanish language is used.
Yes. In my dialect, we have less of Spanish. Even our counting, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
Even the way we call glass is like vaso, la mesa.
It's amazing when you think about that.
Yes.
But the fact you're speaking English with an American accent, how did that happen?
Yes, because the Philippines is highly influenced by the American television. Even when I was younger, when I was maybe uni, I was trying to refine my English, and I was watching lots of America's Next Top Model, and I was like trying to mimic America's Next Top Model. I feel like that's my sort of a practice to refine my pronunciation and things like that. Want to be on top?
It's amazing because there's a music in the voice with that too, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's sort of a musical way of talking almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we try to mimic the sound.
And that's because did you always want to make people up? Is that where this makeup came from?
So as a child, I love sketching. So I thought when I was a kid or even in high school that I'll be a fashion designer because I had been sketching women's silhouette and gowns, and I did a little bit of fashion designing. But it was I was in fourth year high school when I discovered makeup, and then my cousin started doing it, and I tried mimicking what he's doing. And then when I saw the transformation of that lady, it's like, or that girl, it's amazing. And I thought, oh, this is a more interesting canvas compared to paper because it reacts to what I do.
A real body, a real face.
And that's how it all started.
So when you look at a face, do you immediately think, oh, that face needs whatever?
Yeah, in makeup we have this thing we call step to balance. So the face is usually divided in equal thirds, 3 portions. So you will be like analyzing their face. Is there any sort of a overly prominent feature that you need to maybe soften?
Big
things
nose.
like that. Sort of like that. So we do the
highlighting,
the contouring, and all that. Yes. So we have this thing, corrective makeup, when you try to fix something, and also the regular beauty enhancement, a more natural approach to makeup.
Can I come and see you soon?
Yes, we should. We should have a beauty session.
Yes. No, but as you get older,
You just got to get the hair and pull it back so that everything gets pulled back.
No, but as you get older, they say less is more.
Less is more. Yes. And even as an older, because I had been doing makeup for, I think, almost 20 years now. So
really?
Yes, I started young.
Yeah.
You do?
You look very old.
You surprised me.
I started in the year 2000.
Okay.
When I was scouting women for beauty pageants. I'm training them even with the catwalk. I trained them for the question and answer. I trained them how to pose for the camera and all that.
Yeah.
And I was doing their hair and makeup. That's how it all started. And even as a young artist looking back, my approach to makeup is different. I feel like I want to recreate or change your existence, erase everything and create a new one. But as an older artist, I feel like it's no longer about me as an artist, it's about the woman. So I want to bring out the natural beauty of that woman.
Well,
can you come to my house tomorrow?
Yes.
Let's have a look at some photos, first of all, of some of the girls that you've worked with, some quite famous, in fact. Hang on, that's Rhonda Birchmore, isn't it?
Yes, that's Rhonda Birchmore, and I had the privilege to do her makeup when I did a Mother's Day fashion show at the National Wine Center.
Okay.
I had been doing this community work for the Little Heroes Foundation for, I think, 3rd year now.
Oh, well done.
Oh, Marilyn Monroe, you were making it.
And that's another...
Been around longer than you admit.
And that's another community sort of work that I do. I'm volunteering for the Marilyn Jetty Swim.
We had them here.
On the show, yes.
They're lovely
What about
girls.
this girl? They were. Look at that hair. Did you do that too?
No, that was done by, I think, Dabro. That one is for the Melbourne Cup fashion show at the Wine Center as well.
Oh, okay.
I had been doing that fashion
I just love the intensity on your face here.
Yes, concentration.
I just get lost when I do makeup.
do you?
I forget everything. Even my husband, he can't talk to me when I'm doing makeup. I just forget everything.
You don't listen. Now, speaking of your husband, you both met in the Philippines, didn't
Yes.
you? How did that happen?
We met in the Philippines. It's a very random meet-up. I was in an electronic shop, and I was lining up at a cashier, and then here's this guy who is declining the cashier, saying that I don't want plastic bag, it's bad for the environment. I have my reusable bag. And I gave him a compliment saying that you are environment friendly.
That was it.
That's how it all started. We had a chat, and I chased him outside the store to ask for his Facebook account.
Did you? That's funny.
That's amazing.
Yes, very random.
That is random, though, isn't it? And we're just going to show a little bit of your wedding here in Australia. What did that mean to you to be actually legally married? Because you can't in the Philippines you could marry, but not legally, is that?
Yes, not legally, so same-sex.
But here in Australia now you can, of course.
Yes.
What did that mean to you?
It's a beautiful time. It means so much to us because we were following all the legalization process of the same-sex wedding, and it's a beautiful time that we are now able to get married.
That's
and we did. We got married, and here it was a very private one, and it was such an emotional moment.
I'm sure it was.
Beautiful.
That's wonderful.
And then you went back to the Philippines?
And we went back to the Philippines to do our ceremony with all
friends.
The family and friends. It's actually the real wedding, sort of. In the Philippines, we have 137 guests, I think.
Oh,
so it was
just a small one
big.
then.
Wow, how wonderful.
Yeah.
And what does he do? Was he interested in makeup?
No, we are opposite. The complete
Okay.
opposite. All my sort of skills is his weakness, and all his strengths are my weakness. He is an urban planner by profession, and is working for the local government associations. Yes.
Very, very different.
Yes,
careers.
very
Well, it
different.
is.
Yes.
Yeah, very different. It was interesting to watch the video of that's been put together, like as a film about your wedding, because it's really like watching a Hollywood movie, a short Hollywood movie. It's lovely.
Yes.
We've just shown a little bit of that, but it's just a really lovely piece. How important is it for you to have that too? Because it captures a moment in time which historically in this country is a rather amazing moment in time.
It isn't.
Were you one of the first people to get married?
Not really.
It must have been close to the beginning, though.
Yes, it's close to the beginning.
Yeah.
Actually, in that hotel where we held the wedding, I think it's their first same-sex wedding, and that is a big hotel. It's like one of the best hotel in that area, and in the end, they hired their own photo and video because they want to use it for their website, and yeah, because it's the first same-sex wedding that they've had. But we received massive support from everyone.
Wonderful.
With the wedding, it's just amazing.
So talking of weddings, that means that a lot of your work would be weekend work, is it, on Saturday morning starting at the crack of dawn?
Yes, because I'm working for TAFE on weekdays.
Oh, you're teaching, of course.
Yes,
you're teaching
yes.
makeup.
I'm teaching makeup. I'm a beauty lecturer, and then I'm doing the makeup freelancing on the side.
And the reason that we found you was because, not that I wear makeup, of course, but the girls that do Janice, and they have to do a lot. Phil, who is one of our makeup ladies, who's been with this program right from the very beginning, hasn't she?
She has, yes.
She said, there's this young man,
Yes.
that you have to meet, she said.
Aww.
So it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Stay with us.
Yes, please.
Because talking about designing the face, and we've been talking about interior design, Susanna's coming back in a moment to say goodbye, and we'll see you then.
Now, Jerick, we're talking about makeup, and do you think, should I be wearing eyelashes? Because, no, they seem to have come back. There's a lot of people I see, girls, not men, but girls, that are wearing eyelashes again. I used to wear eyelashes like 30 years ago. Do you find that people are wanting to wear eyelashes again?
I think it's all the trend of the extension lashes. They are not actually false eyelashes, so they stick them on. So,
But in show business, really, show makeup isn't complete for a woman
without lashes. Yeah.
Lashes, because your eyes disappear.
No, but I see girls now that are just in the daytimes, not that they're performing anywhere.
No.
That they are wearing eyelashes, and they're not. Because I've seen the extended, they are actually the ones that I used to use many years ago.
Yeah, that's, I think, a little bit too much.
Caterpillar eyes.
Yes, that's it's like a fan.
Yeah,
sort of.
it is. It's too much.
Yes.
And colour on the eyelids and too much colour.
Come on, let's bring blue back.
No.
I love the blue
I guess
eyeshadow.
they do. No, I've seen some they do, but it's more I think when you're dressed for a certain occasion,
Yes.
that you would use something like that.
In a blue
right?
dress with blue eyeshadow.
Not really.
So much. No.
Susanna,
Hopefully not
it's
blue.
the same sort of question relevant for interior design. Or, in fact, we never really got to talk about furniture. And some furniture looks fabulous, but it can't be comfortable to sit in.
No, I mean, not all furniture. Some furniture can be more like an art piece or a sculptural element, so it's not ergonomic. But generally, I think if we're talking about people's homes and that sort of thing, they go for comfort. You know, people still like, you know, a comfortable sofa or armchair to be able to sink in and watch TV.
So a quick sum up, if somebody's really interested in finding out more about interior design, what should they do?
I think there's a lot of things that people can do now with social media. So they can go on websites, so they can go into the internet and search for an interior designer.
And find somebody like you?
Yes, they can look for our website, which is a Noki, so it's pretty easy to find. We've also have Instagram, which a lot of people are actually going towards Instagram to find designers.
Okay,
and it's
so
the
that
same
works for
sort
you?
of thing. Absolutely. I think it's probably 50-50%
Okay.
now.
Jerick, does that work for you, finding the girls that are looking for makeup for the wedding?
I think so, yes. I actually started my Instagram late, not until I moved to Australia, because in the Philippines, most people use Facebook. So I think I would say that I owe it to Facebook when I was starting with my career, because when Facebook started, my clientele
took
suddenly, yes.
Yeah, I get it.
Grew bigger,
It's been
yeah.
great talking to both of you, both designers in different ways.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you.
very much.
Susanna.
Thank you.
Just
Very good.
another
Been
really
lovely.
interesting story on this program.
Yes.
Nearly 400 episodes.
Nearly.
It's coming up.
I know.
Boy, have I got something we want to show about you then. But until then, we'll just have to wait, Janice.
Oh, yes, I'm worried now.
Time to go.
See you next time.
Keep yourself nice till then. Bye.